Hey everyone, someone asked me recently what a non-fungible token, an NFT, a non-fungible token is, and should they invest in them? The answer is no, you should not invest in non-fungible tokens. It's mostly stupid gambling, but let's talk about it. Okay, so what is a non-fungible token? Well, a fungible token, anything that is fungible, fungible means sort of liquid, they're all the same, one is like the other. So a fungible token is something like Bitcoin, where one Bitcoin is the same as another Bitcoin, and if somebody sends you a portion of a Bitcoin, it's the same as every other portion of a Bitcoin. So a fungible token is something where everything's the same, which is like commodities. Generally, they're supposed to be, one bushel of wheat is supposed to be of, the same quality as another bushel of wheat, something like that. Anyway, but especially with money, monies by their nature are fungible because otherwise they would not work as money. So what is a non-fungible token? An NFT. A non-fungible token is a digital currency or something. Actually, it's not a currency. Sorry. It's a digital representation of a token that is not a currency because it is non-fungible. And in the case of an NFT, NFTs are normally traded on the Ethereum blockchain, which is a smart contract platform. Unlike Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, Ethereum is a smart contract platform, and I've talked about the difference in other videos. So an NFT, a non-fungible token, is traded typically on the Ethereum blockchain, and it is a pointer to a website uniform resource locator, a URL, which is like a www.something.com/whatever. So an NFT is a pointer to a digital record of something that is supposed to indicate that you own the digital record of that thing. So sometimes that's a little JPEG image of a monkey, called like the Bored Apes, the Bored Ape NFTs. And, if you have one, you can get into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, whatever that is. Anyway, but mostly they're a bunch of just stupid stuff where somebody sticks into an AI image generator, give me 10,000 images of cute kittens. And then out comes 10,000 images of cute kittens, and then they auction them off, and each person gets a NFT, which is a token that represents the pointer. Maybe it's cutekittens.com/1026. And that means you own image number 1026 of the Cute Kittens NFT collection. And again, what's the point of doing that? There kind of isn't one. Anybody in the world can copy and paste that image, and they can have it too. Of course, you can say, no, but I own the real one. But of course, their digital image is just as good as yours. And so the whole thing's kind of pointless. But anyway, I do think there's certainly a place for NFTs for artists and content creators to sell the digital rights to their work. For example, a band could make money by selling the digital rights, the NFT that represents the digital rights of one of their songs. And whoever loves that song the most and has the most money to put forward could pay the band for the digital rights to that. So I do think the technology is very cool for real, legit assets that real, legit content creators and bands and artists are selling. I think there is a place for that, but most of the NFTs are just completely stupid, speculative stuff of, a unicorn blowing a bubble. I mean, it's just ridiculous stuff. So anyway, investing in those, in my opinion, is generally super dumb. It's extremely speculative. And unless you want to own it like a collector, where you're like, this piece of art really meant a lot to me, and I want to be the one true owner of this piece of digital art, well then sure. But again, it's not, at that point, it's not an investment. It's just something you own because you want to own it, to feel good about owning it. And if that's what you want, well, sure. But you could do that with anything. But anyway, one cool feature of NFTs is that the artist can set it up where every time it changes hands, they get a cut of it. So for example, if somebody, if Taylor Swift sold an NFT that represented the lead song in her new album, and then someone sold that NFT right to someone else, she could get 20% or something like that of the proceeds, whatever percent she sets. And then if they sell it to someone else, she could get 20% of that. So in some ways, that's a cool feature. But again, it's only cool as long as what you're selling has, some value that's not just some ridiculous, 10,000 images of Bored Apes or cute kittens or whatever. Anyway, so more recently, there's been an effort to put NFTs, non-fungible tokens, on the Bitcoin blockchain. And there's some very technical, creative ways of doing that using the Bitcoin blockchain to embed NFTs. Now, should you invest in those? Also, no, you should not invest in those either. But the big difference between a Bitcoin NFT and an Ethereum NFT is the Ethereum NFTs generally point to a website that holds the image. But if that domain name breaks, for example, if somebody stops paying the web host for cutekitties.com, or I don't know if that's even a legit website, maybe it's like not an appropriate website. I don't know. I just made it up. So, I guess don't go there. I have no idea what it is. But if somebody has the website for boredapes.com or cutekitties.com or cutepuppies.com or whatever it is, and then the website goes down, with the Ethereum blockchain, you can end up owning a digital pointer to an image that doesn't exist anymore. So maybe cutekitties.com/1026 it used to be a super cute cat image that you wanted to be the proud NFT owner of, but now that pointer doesn't go anywhere. And if you pull up that website, it's just blank. And so that when people figured out how to embed images on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can actually embed them on the chain itself, which means the image is actually embedded in the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, as a result of the fact that it's on the Bitcoin blockchain and each block of transactions every 10 minutes is only between 1 megabyte and about 4 megabytes, it means the images are typically very small and very pixelated. So the images, you might own a Bitcoin NFT, which are typically called ordinals or inscriptions or runes. Those are, I believe, the three most common kind are ordinals, inscriptions, and runes. You might own one of those on the Bitcoin blockchain, but it's probably very tiny and it's probably super pixelated because it's not possible to store high-resolution imagery on the Bitcoin blockchain. At least it's not elegant to do so. It ends up being very expensive. If you're trying to, store something on the Bitcoin blockchain that's a high-resolution image, that has to be done across multiple blocks, and it ends up just being extremely expensive to do that due to the limitations on block space. So all that to say, to recap, what are NFTs? They are non-fungible tokens that typically represent a digital image. Should you invest in them? No. For a couple reasons. One, it's almost entirely gambling speculation that's just stupid and has no purpose. And two, because on the Ethereum blockchain, you're typically buying ownership in something that is just a pointer to the image. But if the place that it's, the image is stored goes away, you basically have a pointer to nothing. And then on the Bitcoin blockchain, anything's, larger than very small, very basic, very pixelated images ends up being very expensive for the cost of the data storage to put it on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that, again, means you're owning something that you're paying huge amounts of money just to move it on the Bitcoin blockchain. And I'm not even sure on the Bitcoin blockchain if you can move these things around. I don't know. The whole concept to me is pretty stupid. So anyway, and also on the Bitcoin blockchain, I would consider it a misuse of the Bitcoin blockchain. People just technologically figured out how to basically do it. But that space on the Bitcoin blockchain ought to be used for real, legit transactions and not a bunch of, stupid images of ridiculous stuff. So anyway, all that to say, I think as an investment, NFTs are a super dumb idea, pure speculation, pure gambling, and they don't have any of the fundamental, base layer underlying value of something like Bitcoin, which I believe has incredible value, but it has incredible value because you can use it as money. There is no possible way to use NFTs as money because by their nature, they are not fungible, so you can't use them as money, and they're not intended to be used as money. They're intended to be just speculative art that generally makes whoever made them money, and then whoever buys them loses money. And so, I guess if you're the one making the art, you might make some money, but if you're the one buying it with the expectation you're going to buy it, sell it to somebody else, you are in the realm of the greater fool theory, and you are probably, the greater fool, because you're probably the one that's going to get stuck with the most expensive version of these things. One last thing, there's tons of wash trading in this sort of stuff. So wash trading is when somebody creates a bunch of fake accounts and then they pretend they're trading an asset back and the price keeps going up and up and up and up because they're trying to tempt a real person to buy the NFT. So, you know, cute kitties, whatever. Again, I have no idea if that's even a legit website, so don't go find out. Whatever the NFT, Bored Apes, or happy puppies or whatever. Somebody will introduce an NFT collection. They'll create a bunch of bot accounts, and then they will make it look like, cute kitty number, 1026 is getting traded and traded and traded and going higher and higher and higher and higher, when all it is a bunch of fake trading among fake accounts. And then eventually somebody's like, wow, this thing is worth like $5,000 and it keeps going up by $1,000 a day. I better buy this thing. And then immediately when they buy it for like $7,000, all of the trading immediately stops. All of the bots disappear, and whoever was doing the wash trading and all of the fake trading, I think it's called wash trading. Wash trading might, I'm not sure if it would be considered wash trading if it's an NFT as opposed to something else. But anyway, regardless, as soon as a legit person actually buys whatever it is, suddenly all the trading activity goes away, and you're stuck with an image that nobody wanted, and nobody ever wanted it, and it only looked like anybody wanted it because there was all this fake trading intended to try to suck people in to actually making a real trade, and then it all goes away as soon as a real trade gets made. So of the word Bitcoin, BTC, and if it's not the real Bitcoin, BTC, virtually everything else in the world of crypto and non-fungible tokens and all this is almost entirely junk. So as always, hopefully this is helpful in your journey. And as always, I think, get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can, hold it as long as possible. And I consider Bitcoin at today's prices absolutely on sale. Hope it helps.